Hello dear traders. In this video, I will cover a very regularly asked of topic which will be very helpful to you if you are a person who trades using crossovers and who doesn't want to take a re-entry on the same crossover candle. So let me just walk you through what is the situation we are trying to solve. So generally what happens is that people take an entry using some kind of crossover. You can see I have a 15-minute crossover of 50 and 20 EMA. And once my crossover happens on, let's say, the -1, which means on my -1 and -2 candle, in that case, I want to take a long or short trade. And my long short trade will have a target or stop loss. So once my target is achieved, I will exit the trade. And then I will look for the next crossover. Now, what ends up happening is that people generate a condition like this, which is like an entry condition, a simple crossover condition using position -1 and -2, and they have a trade like this, which is a position builder where you are buying futures or options or whatever. After that, you have an exit condition, which would be something like this. So if you have, let's say, a 10-point target or a 10-point stop loss, in that case, you will exit the trade. The problem that happens is that, let's say, if you take a trade at 12:15 based on the previous candle crossover, but at the very next candle, if there is your target gets achieved, like within, let's say, 2 minutes of the crossover, since you are checking conditions based on the -1 candles crossover, your conditions for the crossover are yet true. So even after your target gets achieved or even after stop loss gets achieved, it ends up taking a next trade again. In order to solve this, there are two solutions. One is that we first check if it's the first trade or not. Okay. After checking if it's if it's my first trade, in that case, I want the trade to get through. Nothing else needs to be checked. If it is not the first trade, which is my situation 2, in that case, I will use a logic like this. My logic is that I will check for entry time. If my entry time, the last recorded time of entry was let's say 12:15, the time now should be at least more than 12:30, so that I can comfortably make sure that at least one 15-minute candle has been crossed. So whenever you see a delay, like whenever you see X out here in this calculation, this X is basically the value of the candle. So let's say if you're using a 5-minute candle, you have to give X as a value of 5. Similarly, since I'm using a 15-minute candle, you have to give X as a value of 15. And based on this, you have to build this exact same formula based on with some additional logic that I will share. In my entry condition, I will make a small modification. So I will add one more condition group actually. And using that condition group, I will now check for the first thing, which is that is it my first trade or not. So I will use a condition called position detail. So using position detail, I will check the condition type as entry, since I only want to see that is my condition taken in entry. And I will take my transaction type as buy, since I want to make sure that I'm only checking for buy trades that had happened. And I will select my quantity, out here, and I will select my underlying as Nifty. So now, if my position detail is equal to number 0, this means that it is the first entry for that particular day, or actually for that particular run counter. If it is the first entry, in that case, I want the entry to go through without any problem. But if it is not my first entry, in that case, I will use a condition like this. So it is an OR condition where either I'm checking if position detail is 0, or I'm checking if position detail is not equal to 0, which means it is not the first buy entry. If it is not my first buy entry, in that case, I will use this logic that I have previously shared. So now I will make one more group out here, which will be an OR group. Now, within this OR group, I will add a secondary group. This group will check for the logic I shared here. So I'm now using entry time as the keyword, and in entry time my underlying will be Nifty 50. Now I'll use something called modulo. We'll not get into the specifics of what is modulo. Maybe you can Google it up. Then I will check number. since my number is 100 out here, I will directly use 100 as shown in the suggestion. And now I will check if it is less than number. So I will use less than, and my condition will be number. So out here, since my logic is for 15-minute candles, so I will use 60 minus x, which will be 15. So in my case, 60 minus 15 will be 45. So I'll select 45 out here. After that, I will now check if time is greater than, and out here it is entry time plus x, which is, again we'll copy entry time plus our x will be in number. So I'll select number, and since our x was 15, which was a 15-minute candle, I'll select 15. Now I will have one more group out here, which will be an AND group. And in that group, I will again use this logic. So I'll select entry time modulo number is more than, and out here I will use again 60 minus x, which is 45. So if it is more than 45, in that case, what I will do is time is greater than, again entry time. And here there is a catch where you are basically using a different number. So you have to do 100 minus 60 minus x. So it will basically be 100 minus 60 minus x, which is 45, and 100 minus 45. So that is basically 55. So I'll select 55 out here. Now I will finish this condition. So I'll just walk you through it again. So my first overall condition is that either this block or this entire block has to be true. If the entire block, if either this or this block is true, in that case, I will check through this. I will check if it's my first trade or not. If it is my first trade, then the trade has to go through, no problem. If it is my second trade of the day, in that case, this condition will be true, and in that I will basically check if any of this block or this block is true. So this is basically making sure that my time of at least 15 minutes has elapsed since my entry time. So using this logic, you can make sure that you do not take a re-entry once your target or your stop loss has been achieved. So this re-entry will now wait for the second crossover. So as you can see, there was a crossover here. Now it will wait for the next crossover. Whenever there is a crossover again, like it is doing out here, so in that case, we will again take a trade. I hope this video was helpful. If you have any queries about using Tradetron in general, you can feel free to drop us a mail at support@Tradetron.tech. Or if you want to learn more, you can subscribe to our YouTube channel, and you can also request for more videos on logics that you require, and we will be happy to cover that in future videos. Thank you very much. Have a nice day. Bye.